Alright guys, this is the last game of Bromance Wargaming while I, Matt, am going to be here in the same town as my friends.
Sure, that
So what we decided was, since we had not actually completed the campaign, and it's all Dallas's fault, since we hadn't completed the campaign, we were going to do a last big hurrah. Also, since the Orcs and Goblins had never been fully defeated, we decided that the Orcs and Goblins have formed a giant wog and are going to attack the walls of Malco. So the alliance of elves and ogres and lizardmen get together and they want to fight to protect Malco and not get swept away in the green tide. And the dark elves, who also are supposed to play, who are also in the campaign, ran away because dark elves aren't going to help. So we devised this scenario. We have two tables put together. We've got some light terrain. We've got the walls of Malco to defend. It's not victory point based. We have objective points essentially that we're going to try and get, and we're going to. We have 3 commanders. We have two BSBs each. We can double up on magic items. Winds of magic are the same. And so essentially what we're doing is, and we have objectives on the table. So essentially what we're doing is we're trying to capture objectives, capture the walls of Malco, and kill each other's commanders and BSBs, while at the same time letting our commanders and BSBs kill as much as they can, because that's a big deal. Like that gets us a bunch of objective points. It's going to go on for 6 turns, and we're going to see who wins. If I win, then Malco has been overtaken, the alliance has been scattered, and the dark elves had the right idea to get out of dodge before anything happened. If I lose, then the wog is dispersed, perhaps, especially if my Supreme Commander, Calrez Bloodend, if he dies, then the wog will, have to find a new leader. But other than 9,000 point game, I have 9,000 points of orcs against 3,000 points each of high elves, ogres, and lizardmen. We're not doing the standard alliance rules because we don't want to screw up their power dice, because it's not an equal side, and so we didn't want to screw up power dice or generals or anything like that. So this is what we're going to do, and we'll get right on in. They have first turn because they deployed first and picked the side, and then I deployed everything in response, and so they get the first turn. We're done with Vanguard. We probably have to...
Y'all's breath smells.
Are we still doing it? We're touching. Somebody's got
Josh, you tell us when you're...
Oh, I've just been videoing.
Oh god.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
We're done. Okay, top of turn 1, the Alliance got to go first. There's a whole lot of pushing forward. We did manage to move forward, probably aggressively, but we're not really sure how some of these things are going to pan out. Oh. We did shoot off a lot of things. We shot off a Mangler Squig from the Orcs and Goblins. We shot off the Rock Lava from the Orcs and Goblins. We spooked some wolves off the table. We spooked some goblins off the table. We induced panic tests across his board left. And that's kind of what happened. I think he did some soft math and took off about 1,000 points worth of things.
Miscast.
He did get a miscast. We miscasted, and the Slan redirected it to him using his special magic item, and he killed himself and possibly caused 1 or 2 other wounds. I may have been texting. That is the extent of our turn 1. He is a little discouraged because he lost a lot of points, but we're still moving forward. Scouts and Vanguard are looking pretty threatening on our end. Bottom of turn 1 coming up.
Did some turns. I had some decent charges, but not great. I charged my regular boar boys, my savage boar boys, and my wyvern into the man-eaters, and only the savages got in, and they were to the front, and they exploded, which I expected to happen, but that's alright. I have 1 guy left. 3 Wolf Riders charged some Source Cab in the flank and actually lived. Only 1 guy stayed alive, so he reformed to face me. I blocked some other stuff. I blocked his Stegodon up. My trolls made a 9-inch charge into some skinks and beat them up, and overran into some skinks that fled from them, so they all died. I attacked the Reavers that had blocked me, and unfortunately for Jody, he didn't remember that you can't march out of a river, so it actually just gave me extra movement for the big uns, not necessarily for the Black Orcs, but then I needed, over on the other side, I needed a 10 with 4 dice to get into the Chameleon Skinks and got a 8. So I'll complain a little bit about that. I killed some Chameleon Skinks and they stuck around. Most of my artillery was boss. I killed a Frost Phoenix with 1 rock, so I can't complain. In Magic, my wizard, I forget which one now. I think it was bot, miscast.
Yeah, the guy all the way on the right.
Bot miscast and lost all of his magic levels, so I have a single wizard. And that's pretty much it. Shooting was okay. Close combat went alright. And magic was terrible as usual, but that's fine. Anyway, that's my turn 1. Let's get going.
Ready? Alright, we just began and finished the top of turn 2. And what happened was we charged the Stonehorn into the River Trolls. It was very ineffective. He took a couple wounds, I took 1 wound, he reformed, and we're still fighting each other. I ran my Saber Tusk into a Wolf Chariot and killed it. He overran a little bit.
You failed to hurt it, but you broke it in combat because it couldn't do anything bad.
And then I failed to charge over here with this Saber Tusk. And Man-Eaters charged into the Pump Wagon and destroyed it, and tried to overrun into his sub-commander on the Laverne unsuccessfully. Bunch of shooting, trying to shoot down the Horde a little bit to try to stop its
They had like 8
progression.
wounds.
We shot a whole bunch of other stuff that are losing a bunch of wounds as well. Still moving forward really aggressively. So we're hoping to see what's going to happen. We predict in the coming turns a Stegodon versus Giant fight. So we will see how that happens. The Mornfang are kind of unemployed right now. They're very afraid to do anything. And that is what happened in the top of turn.
Bottom of turn.
That was
Top of
bottom.
turn.
Excuse me.
Top
Top.
Yeah,
of
that's
turn
right.
2. You guys are confusing me.
Yeah, we are.
We're on.
Yeah, still got his spells.
Alright, so this turn was pretty bloody. Still didn't go great for me, but did go well over on the right, my right flank. Not so great over on the left flank, but that's come to expect it. The left flank, Anyway, I charged quite a bit. I had several failed charges. I actually got a charge with the Squigs, which is very frustrating, but I didn't go back even though they urged me to. The Spider attempt, Boron, the Arachnarok attempt to charge into the Saurus that had an Old Blood, and I failed. I needed a 6 on Swift Stride. That didn't help. The Trolls handily beat the Stonehorn and overran into those Saurus, which is why I wanted Arachnarok in there. My Pump Wagon got into the flank of the Mornfang, which was awesome because they have 2d6, Strength 5, Ignore Armor Save, Impact hits. And the Night Goblins wheeled in such a way that they actually hit some of the Chameleon Skinks who stood, and then were able to overrun like 2 inches into the Mornfang. So I was actually able to fight twice with the Night Goblins. In that combat, he killed my Wizard out, but I just annihilated him. He had 1 wound left, and so that didn't work very well. I've got 1 Wizard left with no levels in spells and a spell scroll, so it's going to go badly. So I'm hoping that the Salon cascades off his board here this turn. Everything else in shooting, I didn't do a whole lot. I don't remember. I killed some handmaidens. That was about it. And then in combat over on the left flank, the Giant actually went into a Saber Tusk and took a wound because he's terrible. And my Wyvern failed to charge an Eagle, and then failed his Leadership 9 test to redirect into something worthwhile, and then failed. And so now he's sitting in front of some Man-Eaters. So everything's pretty terrible on that flank, and I'm pretty confident I'm going to lose, but we're about to take a lunch break. And so maybe I will drink my lunch, and everything will be better when I come back.
Okay, this was the top of turn 3 for the Alliance. Starting on the left side of the board there, we charged the Giant into his Orcs, and I fought his General with them. The fight ended with the Giant taking a lot of wounds. The Orcs took a lot of wounds but stuck around. I charged my big Death Star-ish unit of Ogres with my General BSB into the flank of the Dwarves, which were being held up by the SARS Warriors. And they ran away. We beat them and caught them. But they also Speed of Light the Dwarves and also Stone Skinned the Dwarves. We took the Ogres. you guys all said in unison. And so they were pretty hard to kill that way. Other things that took place, we shifted some guys around, pretty unremarkable regarding that. We did have these lizardmen into those orc guys. They are still fighting it out. We had the man-eaters go into the wyvern and the orc boss on top. Killed the general off the top. The wyvern is still there holding up the man-eaters. These lizard dinosaur mounts, cold ones, they were fighting some goblin wolf riders and won out.
Yeah, this time they did.
Yeah, they did.
We shot off some other things. We shot off the spider. We shot off a wolf chariot over there.
Giant.
We shot off the giant. And so we're doing pretty good. Our time is running low. Orcs are kind of on their heels right now, but still have plenty of stuff out here with which to come back. So we'll see what happens at the bottom of 3.
But they're very similar.
All right, guys. Well, it's the end of turn 3, and unfortunately, we have to call it due to time. This was the only day that worked for everybody, and we also already had everything planned. So we're doing a cookout with a bunch of other people coming over, and so unfortunately, we have to end it at turn 3. And so in turn 3, what happened was I just was trying to pick up points. I moved my night goblins and got really super duper lucky and threw them all through the man-eaters. I charged some cold one cav with a chariot. And I charged Noblars with the horde of 100, and that you should never, ever do that. Pretty much the rest of everything, charging the Noblars gave me killed. I want to say 13 or 14 of my orcs, which is fair, but I killed them to contest an objective marker or to keep them from contesting because it gave me, instead of 2 objective points, it gave me 12 or 6. So it was a big swing. So it was worth it to take that, and that's what I'm talking about. Like it was stupid things that I was doing to try and grab points, but we didn't think about it on their turn to try and grab points. The chariot put the cold ones on 3s. They passed like a boss. The wyvern managed to stay alive against the man-eaters and killed enough that they're out of range to contest an objective. So I have another objective in the bag for 3 points. The Stegodon's hanging out, playing with some spider riders that have never failed a panic test, although the other half of my army has. His Saurus with the old blood into my squigs exploded them. I actually didn't resolve the damage for that because, again, like I said, we're running up on time, and then nothing mattered. There was no points on the line there since we're not doing standard victory points. My Savage War Boss killed the giant, but again, nothing didn't really matter. That was just trying to see if the giant would stay alive long enough to do bad things to my guy and win extra points. And then I shot down the whole unit of Sisters of Avalorn, but again, nothing really mattered. So that is not a big deal. Oh, we ended up, oh no, we almost tied even though that happened because Crow Through Wind Smash died, and so they have 5 points for Malco, 5 points for Malco, 4 points for Crow Through Wind Smash, so they're at 14. I have 6 points for contesting for owning an objective with my general.
Does it get any points?
No.
My general's in that other one over there.
No. Oh, yes, we'll tie then. Because it doubles how many points you get, yeah.
So we tied.
Yeah. So I have 6 points. I have another
6 points.
objective with a sub-commander that's 6 points. So that's 12. And my R boys, them yellow gits, are getting an objective for 3. We're contesting objectives with the Orc Boar Boys and SARS Warriors. So that's a wash. They have Malco for 5. They have the second section of Malco for 5, like I said. They have 4 points for Crow Through, and then Jody just pointed out that they have 2 points for. No, that should make you win. Oh no, because you're only up on me by 1 yet. And so they have 2 points instead of 1 point for contesting an objective. So it's 15 to 15. So it's a draw. But I am 100% going to say that they won because without any of the last turn shenanigans that I pulled, and if we had 3 full turns later, I don't have anything left on the board that fights. I have some Black Orcs that just like always, are out of position and can't fight anything. I have my horde of biggins, although they are greatly depleted, and they may eventually get to Malco, maybe. And then pretty much my flanks are gone, and it's just big units of ogres and Saurus warriors ready to rain down nastiness, and I'm out of Dispel Scrolls. So, like I said, ending on turn 3 really favored me. I could stand back and actually shoot, but that would favor them way more than me, even though I have war machines and stuff. So I think that I'm going to call it a victory to these guys anyway. Dallas, thank you, sir. It was a good game, even though you took a salon and I hate you. Chris, good game. I appreciate you not killing my spider in 2 hits, but taking 3. Jody, I appreciate you not getting dwellers off. Thank you.
I liked having a purpose. My purpose was to shoot stuff. I think I killed like 15 orcs out of the horde. I killed some cherries from bolt throwers. So I had a lot of fun shooting stuff. I had a lot of fun forcing him to use his Dispel Scroll so we could get other stuff off. I fulfilled my purpose, and my Phoenix Guard sat there like bosses, like they were supposed to, and not do anything. But it denied him 600 points, and eventually I think I would have gotten him into combat and racked whatever they hit.
I think going into this one early on when we were coming up with our list, we were thinking too much individual 3,000 points instead of 9,000 points as a whole. So I did tweak some things with my list. Like I upped my Saurus warriors up to 40, which in the end kind of helped, and threw the old blood in there to add a little bit more beefiness. And also he had the Crown of Command, so if he ran into one of the hordes, he could stick, hopefully. Other than that, it was a lot of fun. The games actually went quicker than I was expecting. I think just because we knew we were on a time constraint, it kind of pushed us to get things going, which isn't a bad thing.
4.5 hours.
Yeah. So other than that, it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. How about you, Chris? And I enjoyed being Supreme Commander of the Alliance.
That's right.
That's
Where's
probably,
your trap? You're part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor. Take him away.
probably our best decision was to make Dallas our Supreme General. He seems to be the regular tournament winner. He also thinks more critically about this stuff than possibly Jody or I.
No, we don't care.
And we just don't mind losing Jody and I. It's kind of our thing. Went faster than I thought. Tons of models. I kind of dread cleanup, but bringing it all out here was kind of fun. Not sure we needed maybe even all 12 feet. We could have even maybe consolidated a little bit more, made it some crazy. That's just...
He could not have fit.
Maybe that would have made the orcs and goblins angry. It was fun. Cool to see Border Princes wrap up in such a neat way.
So we now share Malco.
Yeah.
That'll last for the cold season, and then
That's all.
Hey, actually, 2 of us will be okay.
who?
I'm going to start eating lizards.
Grab the
So what
salamander.
you're saying is my remaining army and his remaining army need to fight the remaining ogres.
Sounds good. Thank you for watching.
Yes.
Bromance Wargaming.